Hey you guys, what's up? This is Brandon and this is my review of the new Netflix movie, Nightbooks. I just watched this tonight. I saw the preview for it. I knew it was coming out today, so I watched it after I got home from work. Man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one because there's elements about it that I liked. And there's elements about it that were just completely stupid also and that didn't make any sense. And it was super predictable. Like this movie, going along with it, I'm like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna be a twist here. This is what's gonna happen. I call it. Like there's a point in the movie where the kid is reading out of a book, and there's this mysterious writing in the book that he's reading, and I'm like, yep, I know exactly whose writing that was. And then towards the end of the movie, exactly who I thought it was who it was. I'm like, it's okay sometimes when the movie is predictable, because, you know, as long as you tell a good, well-told story and it's still predictable, that's fine. But when it's predictable and it doesn't follow its own rules and doesn't make much sense, it's also stupid. But I'm torn on this movie because it was good, but I also didn't like it. But let me run you down the premise of this. It's a boy named Alex, and he ends up, I guess, running away from his apartment because they don't tell you why at the beginning of the movie, and I'm not going to tell you guys why. You'll find out if you watch the movie. And he ends up, you know, he writes these night books, these horror stories, and, you know, he doesn't, apparently, you know, people make fun of him for it. I'll just tell you, apparently people make fun of him for it, you know, and call him a weirdo and a creep and all this stuff. And so he's trying to leave the apartment. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. So he tries to go down to the boiler room to burn his books. But as he tries to go down to the boiler room, the elevator stops on like the second floor or something, and there's this apartment door that's ajar, and he gets lured in with a piece of pumpkin pie. And once he gets in there, he realizes that he's in the apartment of a wicked witch. And he has to survive in this apartment. And there's no escaping this apartment because once he's in it, the door disappears and there's this witch that lives there. And this witch has a weird set of rules. Like, she wants him to read a scary story every single night or she's going to kill him. And she said if the stories aren't good, she's going to kill him. They don't tell you exactly at the beginning why she wants you to read stories every night. I'm like, why even capture this kid if you just want him to read stories every night? Couldn't you just do that yourself? But she captured him. She said if the stories are not good, she was going to kill him. He reads the stories. They're not good. And she doesn't kill him. I'm like, what? It doesn't make any sense. But he also meets this other girl in the apartment named Yasmin. And she was captured as well with a recipe that her mom made, or her grandma made back in the day that she loved. So the witch lured her in the apartment with that like years ago, and she's been in this apartment ever since. But it's never abundantly clear what she does for the witch to stay alive. Because to stay alive in this witch's apartment, you have to be useful. You have to do something. You have to be of some kind of use to the witch. And as far as I can tell, in the apartment, Yasmin does nothing except maybe be like a housekeeper or something. But it's like, this witch is magic. Can't she just go like that and clean up her apartment? It doesn't make sense, but I guess you gotta suspend your disbelief because it's this fantasy, it's this fairy tale, whatever. But so yeah, he just gotta read a scary story every night to stay alive in this witch's apartment. And he wants to try to escape, gotta try to figure out a plan to escape. They try to come up with an elaborate plan to escape. I'm not gonna, give you too much of the details. There's the witch. I forget the actress's name. I recall her in other movies. I just forget what her name is right off. I think it's Kristen Ritter is her name. I think Kristen Ritter plays the witch. She does a good job. She does a good job as the witch. I think she's, very good as the witch. This movie relies, well, I'll get to that in a second, but she's good as the witch, but she's mean one second and then not as mean the next second. Like, she doesn't stick to her rules, like I said before. Like, she's like, you better write a story every night or I'm gonna kill you. And I swear one night goes by where the kid doesn't read a story and he's still alive. I could swear, but I don't remember. But this movie is PG, but it relies a lot on jump scares. You know when they're coming too, because like when they're going through a hallway and it gets quiet, and it's like, bah! Like that. It's like, when they're coming. And they do it in every single horror movie known to man when it gets super quiet and then they just jump out at you. And when they're coming and they still get you. They still get you. You know when they're coming. You know when they're coming and they still get you. I mean, I like, jump scares are kind of funny. It's like, oh, they got me. Oh, they got me. But it's like, it's PG. The jump scares aren't super scary, but they do get you when they happen. But it's like, the story, some of it doesn't make sense. Some of the concepts in there were good, and I felt like they could have built on some of those concepts more than they did. Towards the end, you figure out, because there's like throughout the movie, this apartment's always shaking, and the witch always looks like concerned, like why it's shaking, and you find out towards the end why the apartment continuously shakes. And I liked that twist, kind of, but I felt like you could have done more with it. You could have gone in different directions with this. The direction they went in was okay, but I felt like you could have done more with what you had. I'm trying to be as vague as possible without spoiling a lot of the movie for you. Is it worth a watch? If you want some kind of movie that's weird, will completely be like, at some points you'll be like, whoa, this is neat. And other points you'll be like, what in the hell am I watching? This might be the movie for you. I think it's an interesting watch. You just watch through one time, turn your brain off, have a good time. I had a good time with it. I had a good time with the movie. I wasn't sitting there like, man, this is so stupid. It was stupid, but I also enjoyed it too, because I like stupid, cheesy fantasy crap like that sometimes too. The kids in this, I don't know who they're played by. I don't know if they're relatively new actors, but they were pretty good in it. But Nightbooks, man, this one is a tough one to grade. I'm telling you, this is a tough one to grade. But in the ending, they leave it open to a sequel. I don't know why they'd go with a sequel, to be honest, but we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to give Nightbooks, I'll give it a C. Right in the middle. Just smack dab in the middle, because I'm not too far on the positive side, but yet I'm not too far on the negative side. It's just right in the middle for this movie, which is a C. I felt like you could have done a lot of things different, but you did a lot of good things as well, I feel like, in this movie. This one I'm torn on. But I will think about this movie a lot, because there was some stuff in this movie that I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. I will think about it. I won't forget about it. But maybe that's just how my memory works. But anyways, I'm going to give Nightbooks a C. If you've seen Nightbooks, please let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comment section below. Also, if this is your first time viewing, please click the subscribe button for more. This is Brandon. Thanks for watching. Peace.